Hi everybody, welcome to this quick review of Task 1. I'm just going to go over some of the key concepts in formatting a digital document that you were challenged with in Task 1. One of the ideas that you were introduced to was alignment. So if I select some text in my document, I can then mess around with these alignment buttons: left align, center align, right align, and justify. What happens if we click justify? Look at these ragged edges on the right side of the paragraphs. If we click justified, it gets neatened up. Okay, so that's justified alignment. Let's go to Orkney Islands and make it center aligned, and I'm also going to choose mainland and make it center aligned. Now let's move on to line spacing. Again, I'm going to select the body text of the document, and I'm going to see if I can find line spacing. Somebody mentioned it the other day: format line spacing. So we can mess around with line spacing here. Let's do double line spacing. And can you see there's now a space between the sentences in the document? Another way to access line spacing in Google Docs is this icon here, line and paragraph spacing. And you can choose some different options here. If you want to mess around with the line spacing, let's do 4 and see what happens. Whoa! Okay. Also, quite interestingly, let's change that back to single. Do you see that we have some paragraphs here? Let's go back to line spacing. Add a space before the paragraph. So we're going to separate paragraphs. So there's now a space between paragraphs, and we can do that after paragraphs as well. So there's a space there. If I start a new paragraph and start to type, there will be a space. So that's another way to help us make a document readable. Now let's look at the header and the footer. The header is this area at the very top of the document. And to get in there, I think you can double click. Yes, we're into the header. So I'm just going to type something, my document. And if we go down to page 2, you will see that the same header will exist on every page in the document. So that's the magic of headers. You can have the same text on every page. And of course, footers is somewhere where you might want to put automated page numbers. So let's do these two together. We're going to go into the footer and we're going to insert some automated page numbers. The footer is the area at the very bottom of the document. So if we double click, now let's see if we can insert page numbers. Yes. Yes. So the footer. And there is a page number. And of course, we can align that on the right or in the center, or we could even add a little bit more text to make it meaningful. And if we scroll down to page 2, it's automatic. This is an automated page number. The final thing that we'll cover today is columns. So I'm going to select the body text. Let's just select everything. I'll show you a trick. We're going to select everything. We're going to insert, I believe, or is it format? Format columns. And we're going to use 2 columns, or there are some more options. But let's just go for 2 columns because our document is portrait. It's not very wide. And let's do apply. The spacing is the space between the columns. Let's change that. This is in inches. Let's say 2 inches. That's quite big. Big spacing. Right? So this is the spacing here, and we have 2 columns. Now, maybe I don't want this text to be in the columns. So all I have to do is select it, go back to Format, Columns, and just choose 1. And it will just be 1 column. Okay? So there's a quick review of some of the ideas that we covered in the previous tutorial.